Oh, okay. Hello. Hello. Making mac and cheese. Get to see the awkward, I don't know what to do with myself, Linda, because first live in a really long time. Might have to disappear to switch a movie for my kiddo in the other room or give some crackers, you know. You might hear some Shrek. It's one of those things. So I want to get my dinner done, so we're just gonna get going, making mac and cheese. Hello to the people that are joining in. Let's get to it. Now, this is a actual me recipe, so I don't have anything written down. So I don't have measurements for anything either. Everything is all eyeball, and I just kind of go with how much I think I want to make. And today, it's this size pot. So, usually started on at like a medium high-ish temperature for the stove, and I do about for this size pot we'll do about a quarter cup to about a third-ish of a cup. I don't know, it's hard to say. I use not that much butter. I'm sorry if the angle is kind of wonky. I don't have a ring light yet. I'm hoping to be getting one soon. Here's hoping. While I'm waiting for the butter, I have 3 very small onions that I'm just going to chop up real quick. And I just do like a quick dice for that. By the time the sauce is done mixed with the noodles, you barely even notice the onion anyways. How is everybody that's here? How was your Easter weekend? We had ham, thus the mac and cheese, because I'm making mac and cheese with ham chunks in it. I have leftover ham, a lot of it, so I froze like half of it, and now I'm making some mac and cheese with the other half. My life is a bunch of Disney movies. Disney's and kid movies, so if you hear me humming along to Shrek, it is what it is. Everyone loves a good onion cry. Since my onions are so small, I'm only probably going to be chopping them up into like 8-ish pieces. You know, just a nice good chunk, but nothing that's going to kill anybody with onion flavor. Is there anybody that hasn't made mac and cheese that might be watching? This is a fairly easy thing to make, and you can make lots of it. And then freezing the rest. I'm sorry to the person who just tried to join. I did not see your request. Welcome everybody who's watching, who's just joining in. We're making mac and cheese. This is one of my favorite meals, one of my husband's favorite meals, and one of my daughter's favorite meals. So it's just kind of popular. And if you've missed it, I've chopped onions, I put butter in. I already have a pot of water on for the macaroni itself. And we're just going to start off with the sauce, and the sauce is going to be roux based. So flour, butter, but you want to fry the onions first. And since my ham is already sliced, or already cooked, I mean, sorry, it can get added in with after the milk is thickened and after you've got the cheese in, because it just needs to get warmed up in there. Sometimes I'll fry the ham again just to give it a bit of extra crispiness, but this time I'm not going to. I'm just going to turn down my heat more down to medium-ish. You just want to get the onions just a little bit sauteed, just so that they're see-through, because they will cook more when you're making more of the sauce as well. Okay, so next I'm going to grate the 2 cheeses that I need to grate. This is a 3 cheese recipe. I tried not to do any less than 2 cheeses because otherwise it's just my opinion. For my cheeses, I am doing, this is Romano, Gouda, and a 2-year Balderson. Been using a lot of cheese, a lot of Balderson cheese lately because it was on sale at Costco and I just couldn't help but get myself a bar. It's also like one of the best cheeses ever, so how can you go wrong with that? So a rule of thumb that I generally have when I'm making a roux for a sauce like this is I will use about the same amount of flour as I do butter. That way the sauce doesn't get too thick, but if it does, it's easy to thin out. Quickly cook the cheese. This is my first live in a really long time. It's been probably a good 6 to 8 months since I've done a live. A lot has gone on. I have moved locations, as probably you've noticed. My kitchen looks different since my last live. I'm niching more down and changing my content a little bit to be more about cooking and mom content and, you know, all of that, because that's something I prefer to be doing now instead. Oh, I forgot scissors. So, if anybody has any ideas for what they would like to see me make, shoot me a message or leave a comment and I'll keep that in mind and we can go from there and we'll see if I can do it. If I can't, maybe I can learn, because I'm always willing to learn new things. I do like learning new cooking techniques. I do like to bake. I plan on doing some pretty cool stuff baking wise. I like to do bread, so I'm gonna do some decorative bread and maybe decorate some cakes, because I always liked doing that, which means I'm gonna learn how to use buttercream a lot better, so that'll be fun for me. Okay. Now I'm just gonna add flour. I took everything out already as best as I could remember. Like I said, just try to do about the same amount as butter. And you don't want to brown the flour too much. You just want to make a nice, good, chunky roux. Because I sometimes will use chicken stock to start this off. Let's turn that down a little bit more to medium-low. But because I'm putting ham in this, I'm only going to use milk. And I'm using whole milk because that's the milk that we feed my daughter. 2%, I'm not a big fan of 2% anyways. It's too liquidy, too watery, not thick enough. It just doesn't feel right. Okay, so we're just gonna let that sit and let the flour cook out a little bit. Okay. Now, switching. If you're new to cooking and this is something that you don't know how to make, I'll be using that wooden spoon again. I'm just gonna give it a wash. When you're making a roux, you want to, at first you want to use a wooden spoon. You can mix it all. You can make the flour not clumpy that way. However, when you want to start to add your liquid, you want to switch to a whisk. Otherwise, you're gonna have massive clumps of flour, and that's just unappetizing when you're having a sauce. And you want to do it really slowly when you're adding the liquid. That way it helps to prevent the lumps. Okay, so we're just going to give that a few more seconds of cooking. And I'm going to grate the Gouda cheese. Gouda is a fairly soft cheese. Generally, you want to use harder cheeses than this, but this is what I had and what my mom helped provide. Thank you, Mom. Because they are having dinner tonight with me. My husband is out on a run. He's a pilot driver, and he very much enjoys that. But he is gone for the night. So I am by myself, so I'm making mac and cheese because I can freeze half of it once I am done with it. Just tuck that one there. Okay. Good. That roux is looking nice. You don't want to brown it too much because if you brown it too much, your sauce will turn out to be too dark. And because this is a cream sauce, you don't really want it to be dark. Plus, it'll add too much of a nutty flavor. And that's not really what we're going for with mac and cheese. So I got 2 jugs of milk here and my seasoning. I'll show you that after. It's super simple. Salt, pepper, and one other thing that I'm not sure most people know about, so I'll save it till when I add it. Hello everyone that's joining in now. We're just making mac and cheese. Oh, thank you, Morgan. Super long. It's actually too long. I need to get a haircut. First world problems, I swear. So we're making mac and cheese, and I'm just about to add the milk, and you want to do that slowly to help with reducing clumps. Make sure you have your heat fairly low here at this point too. That way you don't burn your milk, because then that's going to give a very off taste to your sauce, and you don't want that. We'll keep adding that as we go. I want to make sure this isn't too runny, but not too thick. We also don't want any clumps. You can also start adding more milk as you go. It's just, you want to go slowly and you want to take your time mixing it in and make sure you don't have any lumps, and make sure that it's fairly smooth before you start adding your next amount of milk. And when you do this, you actually, after, like, when you know you're done adding the milk, when it's a little bit runny still, because it will thicken as the milk heats up, as the roux heats up, as well as when you add the cheese. And if anybody who's just joining in that hasn't seen... Oh, I'm really sorry. That's very unfortunate. I bet you look awesome with a shaved head. I mean, I don't think I'd be able to pull off a shaved head, but I don't know. I did have short hair in high school, and I really liked that because I was able to maintain it fairly easy. I find having long hair much more difficult to maintain, and I'm finding since I moved locations and the different kinds of water that I have, this water affects my hair much more differently. Anyways, with the sauce, you want it to be a little bit runnier because it will thicken. Look at the dribbled milk. There. I'm always trying to clean as I go because I never like having too much dishes at the end to deal with. Okay, let's just give that a mix. You want to make sure you have your heat low so you don't burn the milk. I think I said that already. So if there's anybody that's new to this live, that's just joining and missed the beginning, I am making mac and cheese, and this is my own homemade recipe. I don't have... Morgan, send me a message. We'll talk. Let's get to know each other. Why not? Excuse me. So for anybody who missed out in the beginning, this is my own. I do not have a recipe for this. It's not written down. Everything is by eye. So it tastes different every time, but everybody has liked it so far. It's nice to meet you, Morgan. Let's chat it up. Let's get to know each other more. Okay. So this is pretty thick still. Now, I like myself a thick sauce when it comes to mac and cheese. Those noodles have got to be cooked, got to be coated nice and well, but I'm just gonna add some more milk to that because it will thicken up as it goes, and we are still adding cheese. Keep that handy in case it gets too thick. So once you have your... I'm in BC. We're on the opposite sides of Canada from each other. Are you also a mom as well? Do you have any kids? Married? Tell me about yourself. If you don't want to do that here, you can always send me a message as well. So once you have your milk all mixed in, you want to turn your heat up. I go to about medium high, so on my stove that's like a 6 or an 8. And you want to let it come to a boil and then turn the heat down and let it simmer for a while. Nice. We're from in BC. I currently live in Kamloops, or just outside of Kamloops. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to come to a boil, I'm going to start chopping my ham. Nice. So you don't have to add ham to mac and cheese if you're new to cooking, and this is just something I like to do when I have leftover ham. You also don't have to add onion to it, but it's one of the things that I like to add. I like the area of Kelowna. Kelowna's nice. And since I had leftover ham from my Thanksgiving dinner last night with my parents, this is what we're getting. Now, if you have any too much fatty pieces on there, because we didn't fry it first, you're going to want to take those off. Otherwise, they're going to be really gross in the sauce. And because this is a milk-based sauce, you want to make sure you're stirring it constantly when it's heating up. Otherwise, you could burn the milk, and you really don't want to do that. Burning the milk makes it taste pretty gross. You can also see as it's starting to heat up that it's getting thicker too when you're mixing it. Or at least it should be. Whatever you're willing to share. I mean, I'm open. It doesn't matter to me. I'm really just here to make mac and cheese. Maybe snack on some of the ham. Hello, Melinda. I am making mac and cheese. This is my recipe. So I don't actually have a recipe. It's just me throwing a bunch of ingredients together and kind of hoping it works out. How are you doing, Melinda? And Morgan, I know how you feel on the anxiety front. Yeah. Just trimming off fat because nobody wants to have too much fat in their mac and cheese because otherwise that can taste pretty gross. Once you've noticed that your sauce comes to a boil, you can turn that down and just let it simmer because you're then going to start adding your cheese, which will also help thicken it up. So you don't want this too thick. Give me 1 second. Let's just wash that. Let's see if I can show you the thickness. Morgan, is there anything I can do to help lift you up? Give any wise words? Wise words. That's the wrong thing to say, sorry. Give anything that I can do, even if I'm just an ear. You send me a message and I'll listen to you vent as much as you want. Thanks, Melinda. Little tidbit fact, I did go to culinary school. It was in high school, so little while ago. I don't want to say because I don't feel like aging myself at the moment, and I'm not that old, but been feeling it. So, if you really want to know how thick to make your sauce, take a wooden spoon, dip in, okay? You want to be careful, so if you don't want to use your finger, you can take another spoon and you'll swipe down and hold it the opposite direction. For mac and cheese, you do not want this line to break at all. So you see how that's nice and smooth? I'll do it again up here. And the line doesn't move? That's what you'll want, okay? And that just tastes like milk, so that's not great yet. Too sweet. Let's turn down that heat. I'm going to about a medium-low, so on my stove, that's about a 4. Okay. And we're going to add the cheese. Now, if you missed it in the beginning when I was grating it, it's a 2-year Balderson, a Gouda, and cheese. So we're going to just add small handfuls at a time and mix it in. The reason why I do that is because I find if you add it all at once, it's just too much and it doesn't melt as smoothly, I find. You're very welcome, Melinda. Anything I can do, Morgan, I'd love to be able to help. And you can see while you add the cheese that it actually really starts to thicken up. So I'm going to add the rest of the grated. And then I'm going to dip out for 20 seconds to just check to see where my young child is. Hopefully she's not getting into anything mischievous. Never mind, I can see her from here, and she is looking adorable watching Shrek. So depending on how thick you actually like your sauce, you can add more milk. I kept it out just in case mine turns out to be too thick. But, I mean, when it comes to mac and cheese, depending on what you plan on doing with the leftovers and how much you're making, like if you want to do a baked mac and cheese, the thicker the sauce is actually better. So, yeah. Melinda, thank you for the share. I really, really appreciate that. Really much. Thank you. This is my first live in a long time, so I'm a little bit nervous and kind of excited about doing it as a cooking live. I think the last live I was doing a live for an MLM I was in, and yeah. So, now the last bit of cheese. The Romano, what are you doing? Okay, not dealing with the fact that she's on the coffee table at the moment. And I'm going to have to quickly find my phone charger because I think my phone might die. So hopefully... Jeez. My phone cord reaches. Actually, I'll find my 10-foot. In 1 second. Turning down my heat to a medium-low still. Low, medium, whatever you want to call it. It's nice and thick now. It's going to taste nice and cheesy. You can add as much cheese as you like. The more cheese, actually, the better. Give me... I have 1 kid right now, Melinda. I have a daughter. We are trying for a second, so wish me luck. Hopefully soon. Give me 1 second. I gotta find my phone charger. Hi, kiddo. You stay there, okay? Okay, now my phone's not gonna die on you guys while in the middle of me making this mac and cheese. Because wouldn't that suck? Give me 1 second. There we go. Look at that, and that even helps. Love you too, Morgan. Okay, so you just want to let this sauce simmer. And I'm going to add the ham before I actually test and spice this. However, in this moment, I am going to start my water for the noodles. I already have my strainer in the sink as well. 1 second. Can't wait until I can get a ring light so that I can have better angles. A 2-year-old boy, nice. My daughter's gonna be turning 2 in June, actually, on Father's Day. So that'll be fun. We are planning on having a birthday party / Father's Day celebration because my in-laws are coming that weekend and my parents live here on the 20 acres that we live on. So that makes it really easy for all of us to connect. Yeah. Baby dust. I like that. Baby V for us. And don't forget, this is a cheese dairy based. You're going to want to keep it stirring and keep it on a low if you can. Just because you don't want that to burn, because if that burns, it'll be horrible. It will not taste good. Yeah. So, I like lots of ham. I like it nice and chunky. So, I'm going to try and do as much ham as I can. I had to freeze like half of it. Just because I like having meals for the future. So, That's what I was going for, especially with my husband being gone on like work trips, on his runs. I like to have stuff that's pre-made already to make it easier for me and baby V, so I don't have to worry about cooking. I'm hoping it will be the 2 gatherings. We're gonna have a lot of family here. It'll be the most family I've hosted here yet. Actually, it might be the most family I've hosted yet, so it's a little exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking. But yeah, I can't wait. Okay, now that my ham is cut, got a good mix. Looks nice and cheesy. Not sure if you can see that. I really need to get a ring light, and then I don't have to worry about it. Then I can just move it. Oh, happy birthday to your little one. That's so exciting. Oh, that's wonderful. Happy birthday to your little one. I agree. Hosting is a lot of work. I'm actually making it a rule. I've kind of made it a rule in my family where I do potlucks. If I'm having a big family dinner and it's going to be like, you know, excuse me and my husband and my daughter, my parents, his siblings, then everybody's got to bring a meal or bring a dish. I do not want to be cooking that much for that many people. I did it at Christmas. Boy, oh boy, was it stressful. Okay, let's add, ooh, that's warm. Let's add our ham. Just checking on my child. She seems to be making some strange noises I'm not used to. Okay, so. Ham. Everybody loves a good mac and cheese, I think. I will apologize ahead of time if my sink is loud. I plan on doing my dishes as we go because, well, if I don't have dishes to do by the end of this, and I kind of don't really want that. So, I just have a couple of things to quickly wash before other things are done. So, yes, I agree. The potluck idea is definitely better that way. I much like it. Much like it that way. It was actually my mom's idea for that. I'm sorry if the water's really loud. I'll turn it off when I don't need it. Okay. Yeah, it was actually my mom's idea, and I loved it so much, so I went with it. Thank you for joining me, Melinda, and I hope you got something out of this live today. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you for coming, and thank you for sharing. Okay, so for everybody who's left, and anybody who's new and joining, we are making mac and cheese. Or I'm making mac and cheese, and anybody who's making it with me is coming along for the journey. And if you missed it, at the beginning of this live, I said that this is my recipe. I don't actually have it written down. So it's just me and what I'm doing. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask me. I'm just going to quickly do a few dishes, so I apologize for the loud noise. I am sorry, everybody. That was a mistake. The joys of not having The joys of not having a ring light. I'm sorry, I got water on my phone screen. I'm sorry, you guys. Okay. Oh, the awkwardness of having a live with me. So fun stuff there. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Oh, look, and now my angle's all off. Okay, I will fix that in a second. Oh, the joys. The joys. Welcome, everybody who's just joining. Everybody's having a wonderful had a wonderful Easter and is having a wonderful Monday. Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. I know my days. Okay, here we go. Dishes done. Look, just in time for my water to boil. There we go. That's better. Now y'all can actually see me and see what I'm doing. Okay. Okay. Hello, sweetheart. You're not supposed to have that. Can you go watch your movie? Of course I don't have my scissors still. Okay. What is it? Look, it opened. Okay. So I got to add some oil. There we go. Normally you add salt to your water for noodles. However, I did not this time. I normally do not, especially when I'm doing some sort of sauce, mixture with sauce in it, just because I find the sauce gives it enough flavor. Okay, let's turn that down to medium high. So about a 7 on my stove. And don't forget to continuously stir that sauce every once in a while, because you know, you really don't want it to burn. Okay, and I think we are good milk-wise. So, it's all just about looking and keeping an eye out and just kind of knowing how much and what you're putting in. Hello to anybody who's just joining in. We're making mac and cheese. This is my own recipe, so no measurements, no nothing. I do everything by eye when I'm making it myself. This is one of my favorite meals to make. And if anybody has any ideas on what I should make in the next live, turning down my noodles to a medium because they're boiling too much. But if anybody has any ideas on what I should make for my next live, side note, also turning my sauce up, please let me know. Either leave me a comment or, you know, message me the recipe and I'll try my best to make it. Okay, quick drink of water. Does anybody have any questions this far? About mac and cheese, anything? Any questions at all? Please let me know. So this is, you know, a fairly easy meal to make, and you can make lots of it. You can also end up putting it in the freezer if you want. Whatever we don't eat tonight, I'm actually going to make a baked mac and cheese out of it, and I'm going to put some breadcrumbs on, and then I'm going to toss it in the freezer, and I have an entire meal left over. So that'll be good. I like that. I forgot my cheese grater. I'll do that after. And we're gonna start tasting the mac and cheese sauce now. Because it's sat long enough, let's first give it a taste. Too big. I like a teaspoon for tasting. Easier to wash. You don't get as much on your spoon. Hello, hello to the people just joining in. If you haven't been able to tell, we're making mac and cheese. Definitely needs salt and pepper. Just very cheesy. Very good, but very cheesy. So, I use Himalayan pink salt. Thank you everybody for joining. This is one of my favorite recipes. Now, I start off with a healthy dose of salt because I like to try and get it right the first time. That's just me being cocky from my chef days. We're also gonna add pepper. Usually, if you're in like the cooking culinary world, you'd use white pepper so that it doesn't show and it doesn't look like you have burnt stuff, but I'm using black pepper because that's what I have. My family are pepper nuts, so I add more pepper than the normal person. Now, I don't know if this is a secret ingredient or just an unknown ingredient, but I like to add a little bit of ground nutmeg. Or, you know, if you have fresh nutmeg, you just take that and you grate that in. But I like to add a little bit of nutmeg. I don't know what it is. I just find it adds a nice flavor to the sauce. And you don't add very much, just like, I don't know, half a teaspoon of that. That's about it. Hello, everybody who's just joining. I am making mac and cheese with ham chunks. And it is one of my favorite meals. This is my own recipe. So there are no ingredients, no nothing. Hello, you don't eat marshmallows, little lady. Yeah, marshmallows are much too sweet for you. Why don't you go watch Shrek, huh? Go watch your Shrek. Okay, so we're just gonna mix all of those spices in. Really simple for spices for mac and cheese, like salt, pepper, nutmeg. That's it, that's all. That's all I like to put in. It's really easy. Mac and cheese, one of my all-time favorite meals. What about you guys watching? What is your favorite meal? Maybe I'll try and make that next time. I'm always looking to try new things, and if it's from a different culture, that's even more exciting because that means I get to learn how to make something new. Let's give this a taste, huh?
Whoa!
Whoa!
Yeah.
Did it fall down? My daughter is playing with some animal dominoes. They're so cute. They come from Dollarama. Just a hint, Dollarama has lots of awesome kids' toys. Let's see. Do I need more salt? Yes, I do need more salt. So, another good healthy dose of salt. And yes, I add quite a bit of salt. Whatever makes, I like to have it nicely seasoned for when people eat it. That way they don't really need to add stuff. My dad and my husband will, of course, always add more pepper because they're pepper freaks. I like a decent amount of pepper, but you know, I don't want to burn my face off. Actually, I think it needs more pepper anyway, so let's add a bit more. There we go. Now, I also don't time my noodles when I cook noodles. I go by how they taste. No. No. You don't eat marshmallows. Oh, real life on Alive. Isn't this fun? I forgot what this was like. So I go by taste with the noodles, and since we're putting them in a sauce anyways, and it's probably going to cook down to, you know, combine and get all the good flavors together, we will make them a little bit less than al dente. Well, probably about al dente. Okay, before we do that, let's just... And a little tip I like to give people if they're new to cooking is always make sure you're cleaning up after yourself. It makes for a much easier time when you're done, because then you don't have to like do so much scrubbing that you feel like that you're working your arms out or something. So, you know, clean as you go. It's probably one of the best tips I got in culinary school. And it's the best tip I can share with anybody who's just starting out cooking as well. Okay. Let's turn that down to low, low, low. As low as your stove will go. Okay? And no, I did not just mean to rhyme that. It just kind of happened. Okay, no, that's good. That's all it needs. I'm done. Done with well, nope, done with seasoning. Yep, that's good. Oh, nom, nom, nom. Wow, okay. Yep. 2-year Balderson, I've always said, is one of the best cheeses to put in mac and cheese. However, it is not the cheapest cheese. That is for sure. The only last little bit thing left to do for this mac and cheese now is to add the noodles, mix it all up, and decide whether or not it's going to just be like that, or if I am going to also put some breadcrumbs in it. I haven't quite decided on that yet. Put breadcrumbs in it and bake it in the oven. That sounds really good. What do you guys think? Baked or not baked? How do you like your mac and cheese? Do you like it as a good baked mac and cheese? Or do you like it just nice, saucy, and creamy? Tell me, tell me, tell me. How do you like your mac and cheese? Baked or not? I'm trying to decide what to do after. So, if you're just joining, I'm making mac and cheese. We're almost done. This is my own recipe. It's something that me and my family love to have. It's also super, super easy, excuse me, and you can freeze it when you're done, when you have leftovers. So, how can you not like it? Okay, let's see how those noodles are doing. Those are done. Okay. They're actually a little bit more done than what I usually like to do. I already got a strainer in my sink. Prepare for steam. Okay. There we go. And you know what? We're not even going to bother putting them back in this pot that they came out of. It's just going to go straight into our pot. Hello, Morgan. Welcome back. The mac and cheese is almost done. We are just about to add our noodles to the sauce and let that cook and cook all together. Now this side is warm. Okay. So I'm trying to decide on whether or not I should do a baked mac and cheese or if I should do a regular mac and cheese where I just leave it in the pot the way that it is. Tell me your thoughts. What do you guys think? Baked or not? Ooh, big crash. Okay. In go our noodles. Yum, 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 yum. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That looks beautiful. Oh, I should have added more ham. That's okay. Oh, yeah. You know what? I think I'm going to leave it saucy like this, and I'll do a baked mac and cheese tomorrow. Or I'll do a baked mac and cheese with the leftovers. I could do that. Okay, so that is that, everybody. That is mac and cheese. That is a easy dinner to make for your family. If you're just joining, I'm sorry it's getting to the end, and I was making mac and cheese. So this was my homemade recipe. I don't have a recipe written down for it. I probably should. However, I don't measure anything when I cook like this, so that might be a little bit more difficult. But that is that. That is mac and cheese. I hope everybody enjoyed this live, and if you have any ideas for what I should make next, please let me know. I would be so curious as to what I should make and what you think I should make, and I would love to try and do it. So everybody have a wonderful Tuesday, and I will see you next time. Bye.